Get your popcorn ready as Rams vs. Seahawks and a chance to win $26,000. Hey there, everybody. Welcome on into this episode of Winning Bets. It's Jason Mattis, of course, with you. This is one of the free games that we play, and it's over on the Fox Bet Super 6 app where we can win $25,000. And we can also win $1,000 over on the Yahoo Fantasy Slate app where we almost won that jackpot last week. Let's make sure we go ahead and first start with that Fox Bet Super 6 app. Again, this is where you can win $25,000. This is where they give you 6 questions. You got to correctly answer all 6 questions to take home that money. Again, we got Rams versus Seahawks. You got Rams coming off a disappointing loss to the Cardinals, and I wonder if that was kind of like a letdown game for them. They came off such a big win up against the Buccaneers, Super Bowl defending champs, a team that is going to be there right towards the end, and they really took care of business beating those Buccaneers. And then they stumbled at home against the Cardinals. I just wonder, was that more of a letdown than really, kind of who they are? Meanwhile, the Seahawks, they're 2-2. They've been able to get wins up over the Colts and the 49ers last week. And Garoppolo, though, he didn't play in that second half there as he exited that game due to an injury. So that obviously helped the Seahawks get that win. But either way, they went ahead and got that win. So let's go ahead now and jump on into it. Again, we got to answer 6 questions for a chance to win $25,000. Question number 1 is who's going to score the first TD? Well, if we took a look at the players they give us here, we got Cooper Kupp. He's got 5 of the 11 passing TDs for the Rams this season. You also get Robert Woods. He has 2 of the 11 passing TDs. And Higbee, he's got 1 of the 11 TDs there on the season there for the Rams. If we look at the 2 players here for the Seahawks, I gave you Chris Carson. He's got 3 of the 5 TDs so far that they've been able to run in. And DK Metcalf, he has 3 of the 9 receptions there, or TDs there for the Seahawks. If we look at any other player, what are you going to get if you go ahead and select any other player? We get all the Rams rushing TDs. Now, granted, it's only 2, but you do get all of the rushing TDs, all of the running players right there. You get 3 Ram passing touchdowns from 2 different players. From the Seahawks, you get 2 Seahawks rushing touchdowns from 2 different players. You get 6 of 9 Seahawks passing TDs from 3 different players. And then from these 2 teams, there has not been a defensive touchdown, so you don't have to worry about that. That does factor into this question, but not in terms of coming up with an answer to it because there's been no defensive touchdowns by either one of these teams so far. The Rams, they've had no rushing touchdowns, though, in the last 2 games, so maybe that'll skew your picking more towards offensive players on that, or not offensive players, but receiving players on that team. I'm going to go and go with Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp clearly has a connection there with Matthew Stafford. They've just had a really good chemistry since he's come over there from Detroit. I like his TD production. Again, he's got 5 of the 11 passing receptions there on the Rams season, and I like what he's doing in the receiving game, and it justifies it even more when you add in the fact that the Rams don't have a rushing touchdown in the last 2 games. So I'll go ahead and say Cooper Kupp will be the first touchdown scorer. Question number 2 is which team's going to have the most rushing yards and what will be the amount? Well, the Rams, they're getting about 93 yards per game on the ground. The Seahawks are getting 107. From a defensive standpoint, the Rams allow about 125. The Seahawks allow 152, which is actually dead last in the NFL. Yards per carry, Seahawks are a little bit better. They average 4.7 yards per carry, where the Rams come in at 3.8. Defensively, though, they both allow the same. One allows 4.6, the other allows 4.7 yards per carry. Go ahead and look at what these teams are doing, though, from an offensive standpoint in terms of play calling. The Rams, they're running the ball only about 41.7% of their plays. The Seahawks a little bit more run heavy at 43.13 percentage. And then the opponents, they're not running on the Rams at all. The opponents are only running on the Rams 37.5%. The Seahawks are getting ran on, though, 44.48%. Not a big shocker right there because they are last in the league, in yards allowed. The Rams, so you can see right there, they have a relatively good rush defense, but teams just aren't running on them. That speaks more to me than their number. They are allowing 125 yards per game, which is a fair amount, but teams aren't testing them out all that often. Seahawks, bad in yards. Again, absolutely bad on yards, worse in the NFL. Same on yards per carry as the Rams, but teams are running on them more because they're giving up more yardage right there. The Seahawks, they may be a little bit more run heavy in terms of their play calling, but they're only averaging 2 less carries per game. How can that be so? That just means the Rams are running more plays. The Rams are flat out running more plays per game, even though they're calling less running plays. They have 2 more carries than the Seahawks do per game. So I'm going to go and say the Rams on this one. Give me the Rams and give me 101 to 110 yards. I think you might see an uptick in their running production in terms of their running play calling, given the fact that they're going up against the Seahawks team that's just ranked dead last in the NFL. Question 2 is which team's going to have the most passing yards and what's going to be the amount? Well, the Rams are passing 298 per game. Seahawks coming at 243. Rams allow 273. The Seahawks allow 293. Rams per completion, they're getting about 13 yards per completion. Seahawks are getting 12.3. Those actually rank number 2 and 3 in the NFL, so they're doing really good. From a defensive standpoint, though, the Rams come in better, about 2 yards better. They're only allowing 9.4 yards per completion, which is 6th and best in the NFL. Seahawks coming at 23rd in the NFL, allowing 11.1. So again, almost 2 more yards per completion is what the Seahawks are allowing. From a sack percentage, the Rams are only getting sacked on 2.17% of their plays. Seahawks are at 9.17. So bad offensive line. We know Russell Wilson has mobilities. He's one of the more mobile quarterbacks in the NFL, but the fact is he's getting sacked on every 9% of his dropbacks, which is really, really bad. That's bad when you go into this game up against a really strong defensive line led by Aaron Donald in this one. So I'm going to go and say Rams on this one. I'm going to go Rams will have the most passing yards at 301 to 325 yards. What I like about this is I like that the Rams just pass the ball more on their offense, gave you guys the running stats. Well, you can obviously do simple math. I know that the Rams are then passing the ball 58.23% of the times against the Seahawks 56% of the time. The Rams are getting more yards. The Rams are also going up against the defense. They're allowing more yards and allowing more per completion. I'll go ahead and say the Rams, and they're also not getting sacked as often. So easy one right there, picking the Rams at 301 to 325 yards. Question number 4, we're going to need some luck. It's which team is going to have the longest completion and the amount. The Rams offense has 15 big plays on the season. For the Seahawks offense has 14 big plays on the season through their passing game. Again, big plays are 20 yards or more. The Rams have 2 players averaging 17 or more yards per catch. The Seahawks only have 1 player that is doing that. I'll go ahead and say Rams, and I'll go ahead and say 51 to 60 yards for the longest pass completion. Question number 5 is which team will have the most total yards and the amount. Simple, addition here. We'll go ahead and go Rams, and we'll go Rams 401 to 425 yards. Question number 6 is who's going to win the game and what's going to be the win margin. We got a spread going in this game. Some books it's down to Rams minus 1.5. You can still find some Rams minus 2s and minus 2.5s out there is what it opened at. If we look at what these teams are doing and some other stats that I think are relevant to winning and losing a football game, quite frankly, you got to score right. You got to score more than your opponent. Rams score 28.8 points per game. Seahawks are at 25.3. They allow roughly the same. Rams are allowing 24.8. Seahawks allow 25. Red zone scoring percentage, though, in terms of TDs, this one's a big standout right here. The Rams are getting 58.8% of their red zone trips are converting into touchdowns. Seahawks are at 90%. Really incredible. They get in the red zone. They're punching that thing in for a touchdown, it seems. From a defensive standpoint, the Rams are allowing a touchdown every 56% times when they get in the red zone for their opponents. The Seahawks are better at 47%. Yards per play, they both get about 6.6 yards per play. Same relatively for the defensive. They're both allowing 5.7 and 5.9 yards per play. From a third down conversion, though, this is where you saw a big discrepancy in favor of the Seahawks in terms of red zone production. The third down production is big favor here for the Rams offense. The Rams offense is converting third downs at a 54.35 percentage. The Seahawks are all the way down to 33%. That's going to be troubling for them if they have a hard time staying on the field at 33%. Really not good right there. From a defensive standpoint, Seahawks are better though on defense. Theirs is 40%, and the Rams are at 50%. From a turnover margin, Rams are dead even. Seahawks are at plus 0.8 on that turnover margin per game. Penalties per game, another big discrepancy that favors the Rams here. They're only getting 3 penalties per game, where the Seahawks are getting 6.5 penalties per game. If we look at what these head coaches are doing on Thursday night, guys, we're digging deep. We're digging deep to win this $25,000. What are these coaches doing on Thursday night? Pete Carroll's been outstanding on Thursday nights. He's 10-1 in terms of his win-loss. Against the spread, he's also 10-1, and the over has hit in his game 6 of 11 times. What about Sean McVay on Thursday night? Not too bad himself. He's also got a nice 3-1 record on Thursday night. Not as good against the spread as his 1-2-1, but the overs are cashing 3 of those 4 games that he's played on Thursday night. I'm going to go ahead and say Rams, though. Rams are going to go ahead and win this game by 1 to 2 points. This one's going to be close. It's going to be extremely tight. I like the Rams that are much better on third down. That's about 20 percentage points better on converting third downs. I like that right there. They commit less penalties. I think that'll be a big factor. You get Thursday Night Football, guys can get lazy in their fundamentals coming on a short week, so give me the team that's more disciplined and committing less penalties. Also like that they're strong on Thursday night under McVay. It's not that obviously Pete Carroll's not strong. He's 10-1 on Thursday nights, but McVay's good in his own right on Thursday night, so I like that. And while they may allow the same amount of points on defense, the Rams are quite simply, they're scoring more. So go ahead and give me the Rams in a close one, and the Rams by 1 to 2 points. All right, let's move it over now to the Yahoo Fantasy Slate app. This is where you can win $1,000. We were so close last week. So close. We got 6 of 7 questions right last week. The only one I missed was picking Notre Dame up against Cincinnati. I've been honest on my daily show, been honest on, you guys that reach out. I do not watch college football, so no big surprise that of those 7 questions, I missed a college football one. Although I did get the Alabama question right, and I did get another college football one that I believe that they asked. Oh yeah, the Georgia one. I did get the Georgia one right. So I'm not terrible in college football, but it is certainly not a sport that I at least follow. So not too big of a surprise, but we got to get it right. We got to win this $1,000. How are we going to do it? Question 1 is who's going to win between the Rams Seahawks. We're of course going Rams on that win. Rams, Seahawks, over, under 53.5. I'll take the under at 53.5 points. The last 8 of these games, and that's going all the way back to the beginning of the Sean McVay era, the over-under is 4-4. 4 wins for the over, 4 wins for the under. This one's truly a toss-up, but I'm going to go ahead and take the under at 53.5. Will there be a sack for Aaron Donald? Yes, there will be a sack for Aaron Donald. Told you guys that Russell Wilson's getting sacked every 9.17% of his dropbacks. That's big. That is absolutely big. One of the worst in the NFL. Going up against a very strong defensive line, obviously led by Aaron Donald. He'll get his arms around Russell Wilson and bring him down at least once. Question 4 is who's going to win between the Braves and Brewers in Game 1. Give me those Brewers with Corbin Burns on the mound. Absolutely stud is Corbin Burns, and he's also backed by a good bullpen. It's unfortunate that Williams punched the wall and they lose their top setup man, but they'll be able to patch it together. Burns will go deep, and then he'll eventually be able to give that ball to Hader, and he'll give them guys a Game 1 victory there for the Brewers. Question 5 is Penn State versus Iowa. Who's going to win? I'll go ahead and take the home team in Iowa. Question 6 is Oklahoma, Texas. Who's going to win? Give me Oklahoma, who's favored by minus 3.5 points. And then there's a boxing fight apparently going on by Fury versus Wilder. Had to look it up. I'm going Fury. Big odds. He's minus 320 on that money line, so big odds right there. So we'll go ahead and back the favorite right there. All right, that's how we're gonna do it, guys. Thursday night contest. A couple of these events are obviously on Saturday with the college football, and I assume that boxing is also going to be fight out on Saturday night. If I had to take a guess, obviously don't follow box ball. Just going straight to the odds on that one. Who's favored? All right, it's this guy. We'll go ahead and take him. All right, that's how we're doing it, guys. All right, go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know. I'll give you guys a lot of information, a lot of helpful stats I think can help you, whether you followed me on some questions or maybe you're going to use it to make a little bit of a different answer. Just go ahead and hit that like button. That'll let me know that I've been of help to you. Otherwise, we'll see you back here next week for Thursday Night Football. That was a lot of fun. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and good luck with your picks. If interested in placing real sports bets, then check out my latest daily free sports betting video in the bottom right corner. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next contest.